What's going on, everybody? For those of you who are watching from Joanna's social network or wherever she posts this, my name is Eric. I'm Joanna's husband. For those of you who are watching on my stuff that I post this on, it's Joanna, my wife. And we want to tell you basically our daughter's birth story. Prior to us having Kaya, there were a lot of things that would have stopped us from being able to have Kaya. One of them was Joanna receiving a diagnosis for something called Hashimoto's. You want to explain real briefly what that is?
So it is a chronic illness that would, trying to think of it in the simplest way, so I wouldn't be able to carry a child full term, and if I did, then there was a big chance that the child would have some kind of deformity or there would be something wrong with the child.
And the crazy part about that is that she received that diagnosis right after God healed her from another chronic illness, which was fibromyalgia. And for those of you that don't know what fibro is, it's basically a chronic illness where you just have pain all over your body, everywhere. It was pretty bad, and she went through that for a couple of years, and God just miraculously healed her from that. And then we got that news. On top of that, many of you already know from my social media accounts and where I post this is that in the first year of our marriage, I was diagnosed with depression. So our marriage didn't even almost survive. Going past all of this, going to the doctor not being able to find the stuff that correlated with Hashimoto's, and then boom, she's pregnant. A few months later, after they were like, hey, we can't, you're good now. Like, we don't understand.
They gave me the news that I didn't have anything, and I'm on the phone with them like, what? You sure you're looking at the right chart? I said, you sure you're looking at the right chart? And they confirmed it, and it was my chart. Didn't have anything. I think weeks later, God speaks to me while I'm at work, and he just says, it's time. I was shocked. And then I think a few weeks later after that, I get pregnant. I come out positive, which was like, it wasn't a shocker, but it was at the same time.
You want some attention? I don't hear the attention.
Yeah, stop. It was a Sunday, and he was at therapy.
She just posted like videos about that on her social media, so you can follow her where she posts this.
So he was at therapy, and because I was feeling some symptoms, I went to Walgreens while he was at therapy. I picked up a test, and I took it while I was home. And those are the videos that you see on my on my Instagram and TikTok. Just the moments leading up to when I'm gonna tell Eric that we're pregnant. The pregnancy was everything a pregnancy is, all the symptoms, all that good stuff. Fast forward to 9 months, Kaya arrives exactly on her due date.
Exactly. A trait that I would ascribe to her mother.
Very punctual. So I have contractions for about 5 to 6 days, which means I'm not sleeping for 5 to 6 days. But I know I'm not ready yet because I'm not fully dilated. So on the 21st, which is when she was born, the 21st of July, I wake up at 3 in the morning with contractions and just all this stuff. But I didn't want to get told like false alarm, go back home or whatever, because that had already happened once. So I wait. 2 more hours pass, 5 o'clock, and some things have happened by this point. So I wake Eric up, or I had called the doctor, I think.
Yeah.
I had called the doctor, he confirms, okay, go to the hospital. I wake Eric up, my mom is staying with us at the time. So we had the last meal, and then we head to the I was gonna say the gym. We head to the hospital. Get there by about 6 a.m.
We did not go to the gym.
We did not go to the gym. We get there about like 6 a.m. and I get checked, and finally it turns out I'm still not fully dilated, so I'm physically not ready to deliver the baby.
Okay.
So we're waiting. The doctor breaks my water, still not fully dilated, waiting some more. So this is a whole day. We're there from 6 a.m. I don't give birth till 8:44 p.m. At some point, I had been dilating slowly, but at some point, Kaya, we tried pushing because she's not coming down and I'm not dilating. I get stuck at a certain point. So we tried pushing. Kaya's heartbeat slows down, and then all of a sudden, a whole army of people just rush in.
She pressed like some secret button or something, and all these people came rushing in. And I remember I was sitting there, and I was just like, I froze. And she had warned us, right?
From the beginning, the very beginning, she had prepped us and told us things like that might happen. We just didn't expect for it to happen to us.
To actually happen. But not gonna lie though, had she not said that, I probably would have freaked out.
More than we already
Way
were.
more, yeah.
Everyone was on high alert, but they were very good at explaining and just keeping me informed, keeping him informed. So that was helpful.
They would walk in and they'd be like, hello, my name is Eric, and I'm going to place my left hand and these 3 fingers onto your forearm. Hi.
At that point, we were considering a C-section because nothing was changing.
Yeah, you weren't reaching the dilation you needed to reach, which is not your fault. That sounded like I was saying, like, you were not reaching it, but it wasn't happening, and then Kaya wasn't coming down.
So we tried pushing.
Every time you pushed, her heart rate would decrease. Her heart rate would dip, and it just got really scary. And the doctor came to us and said, hey, listen, it's been a long time. The longer we wait, the more chances that other potential things can happen, and it could become complicated. So I think that we need to start considering that we'll have to do a C-section, which was very scary for Joanna.
Well, the nurses tried more things. I mean, they tried absolutely everything you could think of. The doctor finally, once everything just wasn't working, we tried pushing, she wouldn't come down. We didn't understand what was happening. Her heart rate was dipping. The doctor said, okay, now you're starting to get a fever. We're gonna have to move. We're just gonna have to go through with it.
And the scariest thing was just when she would push and Kaya's heart rate would just dip. There was a moment where, right after what Joanna just said, they left the room to go prepare for the C-section, and we just held each other because we were scared. We made it this far, and life is so precious and life is so fleeting. And in that moment, we were concerned for the life of our baby. We didn't even know whether we were having a boy or a girl. We left it as a surprise. We were just concerned. Think about it. It's like the way that you bring the baby into existence, into this world, I should say. And every time we were pushing, or Joanna was pushing, I wasn't pushing.
You were not pushing.
Every time Joanna was pushing, Kaya's heart rate would drop. So we were scared. We were really scared. And then, nobody really, C-sections are relatively safe,
and common,
but it's still a scary thing, And then we're here, I know I was wondering, is there other influencing factors? Maybe it's not the pushing. What's really going on here? And we just had to slow down time in that moment and be present with each other. And we sang a song together.
Yeah, so when everyone left the room to prepare for the C-section, I completely came apart. I began to cry out of nervousness, not because I didn't have faith that God would come through with his word, because he promised. This is another crazy part was,
it's almost bedtime, baby, I know. Ya mismo, we're almost done.
So I got pregnant sometime in October, November. Before the pandemic hit, January, February, it hit us, God had spoken to me and said that our baby would be fine, that she would be healthy, that we would be okay, that he would protect us, and that was a promise. And I said, great. I'm thinking about, because of the chronic illness that I had been healed from, just in general. And I was like, great. Little did I know there was a whole pandemic that was gonna hit us.
Yeah.
And little did I know that I would need an emergency C-section. Was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Emergency. So that is what he meant, is that he would keep us safe through the pandemic, through all the things that were happening in our world, the tension in our world between politics and people and the race and the injustice and just everything being so ugly, he kept us safe. As emotional a time all of that was, he kept us well. In that moment, everyone leaves to prepare for the C-section. I come completely undone and I start to beg God. I'm like sobbing quietly. I don't even know why. Eric catches me, he joins me, and I guess because I don't know what's happening, I don't know why, no one knows why I won't dilate, no one knows why Kaya won't come down, when every ultrasound, every appointment, everything was perfectly normal, everything was always great, everything was always excellent. That moment, everything just feels like it's a mess. Early in my pregnancy, I sang a song to my daughter while she was in my belly, and I was praying over my baby, and I started to worship, and I started to talk to God about how scary this world is, and pandemic still hadn't hit, how crazy this world is, and what my baby would be coming into, and I was pleading to God and just asking him to keep my baby safe, just covered in the midst of whatever this world would bring. And I sang this song to her, and it's called Come Out of Hiding by Stephanie Gretzinger. It just talks about God's relationship with you, and it's God speaking to you in the song. It's God explaining that you're safe. You're safe here with me. Just, be with me. Come home, I'm home. And so I start singing that song again. God brings that song to my heart, and I am crying, completely just broken, but I'm singing that song out of faith, and I'm trying to give my daughter, I felt in that moment like I had to give my daughter courage, bravery, like that's what she needed. And I'll never know if that was what she needed, but that's what I felt like I needed to do. So I did. And so Eric and I sing that song to our baby together. We tell her, come home, you're safe. You don't need to hide. You don't need to stay where you are. Come home, we're waiting for you. We're here to love you. We're here to hold you. Come home, you're safe.
We needed it too. We needed to remind ourselves that she was safe, we were safe. That can happen when you're on your journey. That can happen when you have things that even you believe in, and things that you know that you can accomplish, or things that you have the full capacity for, or that God has called you to. And you, in your own life, you have your own heroic story. And there are going to be times where that faith is going to be tested. There are going to be times where your circumstances are going to make you feel like, hey, I don't know if this is really going to work out. We were afraid, even though we had faith in God, even though we knew what he said, we still knew in that moment that we needed to have faith. We needed to believe. We go to the room of these C-sections, and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like, boom, 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 that's it. Kaya's here. It's a girl. Oh my God, it's a girl. We're crying. We're so happy. And that moment is like we came down from that state of fear.
So once we were in the room to get the surgery, so I was still freaking out a little bit. Eric was getting prepped to come into the room. He wasn't there yet. And while we sang that song to her, it was us speaking to our baby, but it was also at the same time God speaking to me. And that was literally living by faith, because everything was so unknown that everything just felt like it was on the line, and I just had to know that God was going to come through. Once Eric was finally in the room and we were going through the C-section, it was fast, and it ends up being that Kaya's umbilical cord was shorter than normal. But once we hear it's a girl, and then we hear her beautiful cry, it was the most angelic moment ever. Because let me tell you, the girl's got pipes. I could hear it in her cry. I promise you it's not because I'm a mom. I heard this deep, raspy voice that just filled the room. And I said, that's my daughter. She's got purpose. I hear it in her voice, and I knew it. And then God spoke to me some more, but that's between us. And yeah, that was a beautiful moment.
And yeah, that was a beautiful moment. Say something, husband. It absolutely was amazing, and we came down from that state of fear and we were able to breathe again. Sometimes you ask yourself, why did I even worry? Why did I even worry at all? God knew the plan that he had from the beginning, and we were going to be good. When we first announced it, we went on Instagram. We posted like the picture with our hats saying Mommy and Papi, and a picture of Kaya's ultrasound. And it was such a special moment. It was such a special moment to announce to the world, hey, we're having a baby. We put on our hats, and I had this one here. Put your hat on. Kaya, come here, baby. Come on. Come. Vete. And we announced that this little poopy head was coming. Look, baby. Mommy was coming to the world, and we were so excited. And we're even more excited because now the poopy head.
Come here.
That's your baby.
Cheeky. She's not having it.
Kaya does not want to wear her hat, but maybe her little brother or sister will want to.
This is sister.
If you're on my YouTube channel, thank you guys for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, do all the things. How do you say it, baby?
All the things.
Do all the things. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. God bless you. Bye.